views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Welcome, everybody. We got a lot to talk about, so let's do it.
What could we possibly discuss today? I can't think of a thing.
You might as well keep going where we ended up just a few seconds ago.
Okay, so yeah, I guess what I was saying a few seconds ago was that as hard as Trump has tried to contract coronavirus, it's pretty amazing that
It took him that long.
this long.
Yeah.
But it's finally happened.
I mean, there are so many theories going on out there, and it's like, I don't know if he's really smart enough to have planned this.
My personal opinion.
Yeah,
is,
please. That's I'm trying to initiate
I'm not
a
really
conversation.
sure it has anything to do with him being smart. I think that he is just a cunning individual. I don't think he's smart. Other people have told me that he's smart. I don't think he's necessarily stupid, but I think that when you live your whole life being a con man, you're always looking at angles, and so you know, it's like people try to say, well, I don't know how these criminals were able to break into this house and do all this different stuff, and then I have to look at them. It's like, do you understand that criminals plan or imagine breaking into 24/7? That's what they do. That's all they do, because that's who they are, and that's the way I feel about him. That being said, the way I look at it, it doesn't really matter whether he planned to do it or he didn't plan to do it. This just ends up being very convenient for him.
Right.
He did really shitty in the first debate, which is what everybody thought he was going to do, because, like I was telling you, he's a one-trick pony. He can only talk about a couple of subjects, and most of that stuff is bullshit that he made up, because he doesn't know how to actually prepare for anything, which is funny because apparently Chris Christie also
Last night he announced that he did not have coronavirus. This morning he does.
Yeah, he supposedly got it because he said he was with Giuliani.
He was prepping.
They were prepping him for the debate.
Right.
So that's hilarious, because what can you be prepping him for the debate for? He doesn't read. He doesn't pay any attention to anything anybody tells him.
You're wasting your time, yeah.
And he proved it on the debate, which he just ran his mouth about 2 or 3 different things, and he went over and over and over and over again. It's just, and he's still bringing up fucking Hillary Clinton. Are you fucking kidding me?
But her emails.
So anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that this came at a very convenient time for him. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Nobody's talking about his taxes anymore. Nobody's talking about his coronavirus other stuff. They're talking about now he has coronavirus. His followers are now begging people to show him some kind of empathy because he's got it. I find this absolutely absurd.
The only reason that I think that it could possibly be true, not the only reason, but there's a lot of people now that are starting to come down with it. So you think, I mean, Kellyanne Conway, the Hicks, the senators, all these other GOP people are starting to come down with this now. And
I don't think it's bullshit at all.
Right, but what I'm saying is, wouldn't that be the logical conclusion based on their actions the last couple of months? They're going to all of these rallies. They're not social distancing. They're not wearing masks. Wouldn't you expect them? I mean, how many Democrats have you heard that have recently come down with the coronavirus?
Oh, well, okay. Like, I think it's real, and
I think it's real too.
But
God, I hope so.
I thought it was inevitable,
right,
personally.
Right.
I
I'm
can't
blown
believe it
away
took
that
this
it
long.
took this
Right.
long.
Exactly.
But
Right.
I think that he may go for, like, may say that Democrats just aren't being tested and go back to the whole, well, only people come down with this only when we do testing. If we didn't do testing, nobody
Yeah,
would
yeah,
have
yeah.
coronavirus.
So none of the Democrats
And-
are getting tested. That's why they're.
Yeah, I think that could
But-
easily
but,
be where he
I mean,
goes with this.
Think
So
about
basically,
this.
he took his own old argument and he flipped it around to. I'm telling you, I've known a lot of sociopathic people, narcissists. I've known a lot of people that were con men of that, just natural born con men.
Right.
But I've never seen anybody this absurd at that job.
Right.
I mean, I call it a job because that's what he does.
Right.
He's literally a con
Right,
man.
we
But
hired
he
him
has-
to do a job.
But I'm talking about he's a con man. This is what he's done.
Yeah.
His whole life is based on this bullshit.
Right.
I've never seen anybody. I've seen people that were as good, but I've never seen anybody that was able to take something that was totally absolute bullshit that made no sense, and be able to convince other people that want to kiss his ass so bad that this is the truth.
But
run with it.
But I think that the only reason that these people are and I'm talking about politicians. I'm talking about McConnell and all of this, is because they are getting what they want. They are packing the courts with conservatives and the religious right. That's why they're supporting him, because I'm sure that they don't think he's a second coming. They think he's a fucking idiot and an asshole, but they're getting what they want.
But he's doing what they want him to do.
Right,
I
and he
thought you
is
were
the
gonna be-
useful idiot.
I thought you were going to be really pleased and kind of like baffled this morning. I was wrong. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But I saw the headline that Mitch McConnell wants to push back, push the Senate's stuff back, push the Senate meeting back, except it wasn't really
You mean the confirmation hearings?
Well, that's what I thought it was going to include, but
Right.
it doesn't include that. He wants to get that going right away.
Right, but he wants everything else to be delayed.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah, sorry. I got excited for you for a minute. But as far as the debate, I'm really interested to see.
I think that I just, the one thing that we don't know and haven't known is what his real physical condition is.
Right. The thing I was curious about is his family.
What kind of diseases or is he diabetic? Is he he's
Yes.
obese? He's this,
Yes.
he's that, and
High blood pressure.
he's got it all.
Right, but
anybody who knows anything about any kind of medicine, you can look at the guy and
Right.
tell.
He's getting experimental treatments and whatever that we would not get. But I'm
I
curious
find
about
that
the family.
really-
His family didn't wear masks
I
or
find
anything
that
to the
really,
debate.
really hard to believe.
And-
Nobody's going to give the fucking president of the United States any kind of experimental shit, because unlike all this other stuff, if that blows up, if something goes wrong,
The side effects, yeah, they don't know.
Right.
And
you're talking about going to prison for all kinds of reasons, because that's not something you can do, because he's not just the president of the United States. He belongs to the country.
Right.
And so if you do something like that, that's absurd.
Yeah.
That's like that quarterback that they were testing whatever, and they ended up puncturing his lung.
Right.
And then now they're going to get sued and they have to pay all this money or whatever. This is not like that. You're talking about the President of the United States. You do not do any kind of experimental bullshit on the President of the United States unless he's fucking going to die.
Right.
I mean, that's what's been said. What's been said is
No,
that
and-
he's
and-
receiving
but-
I know
experimental
what they're
treatment that's
saying,
been
but
used
that's
on
my point.
277
Bullshit.
people so far.
Now
Bullshit.
the one doctor, I think Ho is the one that was the one of the prominent HIV researchers, was talking about the experimental treatment that he's going through supposedly, and this doctor has been part of that research, and he said that it is it has some promise. It's not proven, but it does show promise.
Right.
you
It's
know?
basically just antibodies from people who have
Right.
managed to.
Right, but that was one of the questions that he was asked is, what about side effects? Well, we don't know. There shouldn't be anything because it is
Kind of
just
what testing is supposed to be for. But hey,
right.
Right. I mean, he
Right.
should. It would be great if he actually had to do all of the tests or all of the whatever you want to call it, experimental treatments that he has, that he's been pushing the last few months, like injecting bleach
Trust me.
and like.
I agree with you 100%. But like I said, he's the president of the United States. They're not going to pull no experimental bullshit on him. If he were to die,
Wait.
it's not.
I might have agreed with you 3 years ago, but right now I don't know, man. I
if
don't know if
something
I'm
goes wrong,
right.
everybody involved in that decision making is going to fucking go to prison. I'm
Right.
telling you right now.
But my point is that the people that are making the decisions are not the ones that are going to go to prison.
I think they will.
The people that are going to go to prison are the ones who followed their direction.
Well, the entire
The doctor
family
who was told,
didn't wear
hey,
masks.
so.
To
But
the,
so let's flip that a little bit, and he's in terrible shape. He's gonna fucking die. We need to do this. This is a last resort.
Yeah.
You follow me? There has to be,
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
There's
I
no way
think
they're going
if
to try
you're-
something experimental
unless there is some serious problems there,
His-
and that's why we're not hearing what's really going on. Because
his family
I
didn't
think
wear
if
the
he was,
masks, and somebody from the Cleveland Clinic did approach them and try to give them masks and
Right.
have them
And they
wear those.
refused to put 'em on.
And
Right.
I think if you are
At the debate, yeah.
refusing somebody from the Cleveland Clinic, I think that you shouldn't qualify for experimental treatments. I think
Or any
we
medical
should,
treatment.
Yeah, I think they should just
yeah,
put you out.
right.
No, I think that honestly, I think that all of your insurance should be null and void, and that you should have to pay for it out of your own pocket. That's what I
Okay,
think.
so some years back, my mom was in the hospital, and she was on Medicare, and they wanted to keep her for a couple of days, and she wanted to go home. She said, "No, I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here." And so the doctor and the nurse told us, "We can let you go home. However, if we do that, Medicare will not pay for your stay. You will lose your Medicare."
Oh yeah, if you leave against medical
and
advice.
so we finally convinced her to stay there for the next couple of days. I'm glad we did, and I'm glad she's glad we did. But so you're right. I mean, but it's the president.
Well, I find it amazing that a man who called this a hoax, who said that this was something the Democrats made up,
Right.
who said it wasn't that serious, who said that most people are never going to even be affected by it, who said that it was going to be disappearing. You can go through literally a laundry list of bullshit that he said, that after all this time, it finally happens to him.
I just want to believe it's karma, man.
Well, it's karma, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, it's
No, I
obvious
mean that it's
karma because
real.
when we saw it. What really cracks me up about this is that all the people who are always talking about black people who don't do what the cops tell them to do, or they're this, that, and the other, whatever, you have a clear case of somebody who deliberately, he didn't just accidentally, he deliberately flaunted everything that he was being told by science that he should do to not get the coronavirus, and the motherfucker has it now. And they should be furious. They should be up in arms that their guy actually caught this disease being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. I feel like that's kind of
And
the
all
same
the senators and
way that I
congressmen that are
feel
coming down with
about
it as well.
everyone who's taking the high road, being the bigger man, and posting thoughts and prayers
Fuck
and
'em.
whatever. Yeah, I mean, he's been killing us all year.
And he
All-
and he admitted that he lied about it,
Right.
and
To
still
Woodward.
is taking no responsibility for killing us.
Right.
Right, he's been killing us with literally this for months and months. And now I don't feel like anybody should feel that need to
I wanna ask
take
you
the high
something.
road and go ahead.
I want to ask you something about that high road, because I keep seeing people that are bringing that up. So it's just I'm just curious as to what other people think. I personally don't believe that we should be going around telling people that we wish they die. I find that
Yeah,
you don't necessarily need to say, I wish you would die.
Just let me finish.
Okay.
Because I hear it said with a lot of things. Like, for example, we were talking about the Black Lives Matter, stuff like that. Well, if they wouldn't comply with people, they wouldn't get killed.
Right.
So they didn't comply, they got fucking killed. Whatever, you know. So, and then there were people that actually were getting, which I really hate, they were getting on saying now that he's got it, they hope he dies. That really pisses me off, because I think it's hypocritical.
Right.
You know, first of all, I don't think, no matter how evil a person is, I don't think you should want to wish them to die, because then you're inviting other people to wish that kind of energy on you.
Right.
Okay, so that's stupid.
I
it's
agree
stupid,
with that.
and it's not humane.
Right.
And I don't think anybody necessarily needs to be like, oh, I sure hope he dies.
No, some people have actually said that,
Yeah.
and I've actually seen it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
I've got
I've
it
seen
on
that
my-
as well.
So
I've got
that
posts
really
like
that bothers me.
But
I
I'm
don't
not
like
saying
being a
that
hypocrite
that's where
about it.
people need to go with it, or that anybody needs to say that.
I'd rather see him in
don't
prison.
Think
Oh yeah, I agree. No,
I just
I
don't
wanna
think
see him
anybody
survive
needs
and
to
go-
take the time out of their day
So
with thoughts
Right.
and prayers and I sure hope he gets better. Let me take down all my
You're never going to see me
ads.
say anything like that.
Let
I
me
mean,
take
you're
down the
talking-
ads that I have been playing about what this guy is doing and has been doing to us. We still need to know that.
So what are the scenarios that you think is going to happen? Let's take a couple days from now, we get a report that Donald Trump has died
Okay,
in the
but
hospital of COVID-19.
Let me stop you before you even go any further with
Okay.
this. Okay, you. It's going to sound like a joke, but I'm not being. I'm not being funny.
I understand.
This is 2020.
Yeah.
This is the most fucked up year I have ever seen in my entire life. So trying to predict what might happen, what might not happen, is almost to the point of absurdity.
You're right.
I don't fucking know.
You're right.
I mean, I actually thought that 2016 was the most fucked up year I'd ever seen, because I never thought that Donald Trump would get elected.
Right.
And he did. And he lived
here
up to
we
my
are.
expectations for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And now here it is, after all the stupid shit that he did, people are still thinking about electing him in 2020.
Right.
Do you think this is going to hurt his chances for re-election?
I don't think.
I honestly don't know.
Honestly,
It could go either way.
I don't think that anybody is going to change their mind. I don't think that there are tons of undecided voters. I don't see that. I don't think this is going to change anything.
I agree with that, but I think the issue is turnout.
Here's two things I think about this. Number one, if real patriotic people, and I'm not talking about Democrats or Republicans, I'm talking about if real patriots, people who understand the Constitution, people who want this country to succeed, if they show up at the polls, I honestly think that Donald Trump will lose, because I don't think they did that last time.
No, they didn't.
But now they have something.
47%
Right.
of registered
But
voters
now they
didn't
have-
fucking show up.
But now they have incentive. Okay, so that's the first part of that. The second thing is that if they do not, there's a very good chance that Trump will get reelected, simply because he has the ability to take anything that happens, especially things that he fucked up on, and make it into it was somebody else's fault, or that they didn't do what I told them to
But-
do, and that's why it didn't work.
It's the electoral college.
Last night, Fox News
That's
was
what
discussing.
he has to. That's what he has to get.
Sorry, you mentioned the
And
Constitution.
regardless of what the popular vote is, he needs those key states.
Last night on Fox News, they were discussing like what the procedures and everything would be if, for some reason, we needed to, like, Trump was out of business, and
Prior to the election.
yes, like
Right.
like what happens if he can no longer govern, and
There's plenty
whatever.
of people that
Yeah,
will still
for
vote
the
for
last
him.
4 years.
Anyway, well, right, exactly. That's exactly where I was going with this. Was that they said that if it comes to that point, that he can decide that, and that will be when we would switch to Pence, and that he could make that announcement and that decision. Like what?
I'd like
Like
to make
you
a point.
think that's gonna
I'd
happen?
like to make
He
a
will
point based
be-
on that, though. You brought
Okay.
up something really, really important that's always perplexed me. Excuse me. I've seen some people that actually have gone on Facebook and they're trying to give all these different reasons for why they think that Trump should be reelected. And they talk about the economy, they talk about specific things that he did as far as incarceration for black people, all these bills that he supposedly signed. And I think to myself, okay, these things might be fairly important if you look at them in context, they're really just, a drop in the ocean.
Right.
But what really amazes me is that they are trying to give him the credit for these things, even though the man has already told them, and we're talking about not just in his own words, but all the people that have surrounded him, people that have written books about him, all the people said the same thing. He does not fucking read. He has a short attention span, so they can't hardly even brief him about anything.
Right.
He doesn't want to listen to anybody, especially if it's not something that he's not interested in. So are you fucking telling me that he did all those things for the good of the country when he probably didn't even know what the fuck he was signing? So the point I'm trying to make is there are probably some people in his administration that are fairly competent and that are telling him, you need to sign these things because it's going to make you look good.
Right.
But he, as a person, as an individual, is not doing any of that shit.
That is exactly right.
He's a selfish, narcissistic prick. And he always has been. And I've said this even before he decided to run for president. I've always said this about the guy because I've been reading about him for decades. He's always been an asshole. So how these people can all of a sudden elevate him to this saintly status is and intelligent status is beyond me.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I just was laughing because he's not going to do that. The only way that he's replaced is if he is on a ventilator and completely incapacitated and unconscious.
Well, see, that was important. You should have said that first. Totally incapacitated.
Right. If he's
Because if he's not
incapacitated.
incapacitated, he's
Right.
still going to be running his mouth and still be trying to do Twitter.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's no way
Wait.
that he's
And
ever
that is
going...
a good point. Since he was admitted to Walter Reed, how many tweets have you seen from him?
None.
One? I've seen one.
No, since he was admitted,
Yes.
not prior to.
One since he's
Okay.
been admitted, yeah.
What did it say?
Oh God, I don't remember any of it.
But it was pretty
except-
innocuous.
Right, it was two sentences and then in bold,
Right.
love.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that there's something going on there, or he'd be going crazy.
That's likely, but yeah, I don't.
And
I
I
think it's
don't
more
see
severe than
him-
what they.
I don't see
that's
him-
what I'm saying.
even if
I
it's
think it's
bad.
more severe than they want us to know.
I think no matter what, though, he's not going to step down.
Oh no, I don't.
Unless,
No, I don't
unless
believe
he
that.
really
We agree
is
with
that. No way in hell.
fully
Yeah, we agree
incapacitated.
with
There's
that.
no way in hell. The only way if it has to be the vice president, Speaker of the House, and I forget
But it doesn't matter
who the third
because-
person is to invoke the 25th Amendment.
Right.
Right, and that's what they have to do. It has to be the VP, Speaker of the House.
But here's
and-
the thing:
and-
it doesn't matter because the problem with, I don't think the people understand what the real issue, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, the real issue with Trump, he knows that when he stops being president,
he's going to jail.
he's fucked.
Yeah,
He's going to lose. It's not just the fact that he's going to jail.
right. He loses
Right
everything.
now, he's got a source of money. He's got a source of influence. He has a source of protection.
Right.
He's got that get out of jail free card right now. When he loses all that, everything that's going on about him that has been going on for the year, it's all going to come out in the open.
Yeah.
Right now, even these things that have come out in the newspapers and the journals have been coming up with shit, these tax returns, all that stuff.
Yeah.
They still been able to suppress a lot of this stuff.
Right.
When he gets out of the presidency, all that protection goes away, and it's going to blow up because this stuff has been simmering under the surface for years and years and years, and he's been doing everything he can to suppress this shit, like he did with all the not the Esquire stories, but the Inquirer
The
stories.
Inquirer stories, yeah.
See, he's been able to get away with this shit for all this time.
It's like the shell
But now
game.
he's got so many people that really fucking hate him. Not only that, but there's another aspect of this too. He is totally a control freak. He has to be in charge of everything. He has to be ordering everything around. He has to be telling everybody what to do. And he has to check everything before you do it to make sure it makes him look good.
Right.
If it doesn't, I don't give a fuck what it is. He doesn't want you to do it. So, no, there's no way he's ever given up control
Right.
of being president.
No.
Fucking way.
I agree with that.
Because he's not
100%.
even going to trust anybody to do his stuff.
Right.
I don't think that. I think that this is real. I don't think there's any way it's faked. But I do honestly, I do kind of wonder if it is actually really bad for him, the coronavirus. If this is actually like, I do wonder a little bit.
If he was in
he's
good
making it a
if he
little-
was in as good of health as they want us to believe, I don't think that they would be trying experimental treatments on him.
It has kind of.
And we
I
don't
mean,
even
it's
know if
taken-
that's true.
it's
I
taken
mean,
a
they could be
lot-
saying that, and they may not be
It's
giving
taken a
them.
lot off of his taxes and
right.
fuck Christmas and all of that. Like,
But I think
like
it's just
the
been-
people who've
it
been
was
crying
convenient.
for so many years, like if you say happy holidays,
Right,
like
right.
how do they feel about fuck Christmas?
Right. Well, but they're hypocrites.
I mean, it's
They're
not that
hypocrites.
big of a deal.
They're
but
hypocrites,
yes.
so it doesn't matter. But no, I agree with you. I think it's real. But I don't believe anything that comes out of the White House because they've been lying about shit for. Now they're saying that he actually had the coronavirus before Wednesday when he went to that meeting with all those people. Where none of the people were wearing masks.
Right.
And so this has been.
And
this-
he knew
Oh,
it.
And they knew about Hope Hicks before
Right.
that too. So they knew about this shit, but they chose not to tell anybody. Just like they knew about the fucking pandemic, but they chose not to tell the American people.
when they were outside for that, and they called up Amy Barrett.
Right. Right.
She walked up to the podium, and he got right there in her face and adjusted the microphone. And she kind of looked like she felt that she was dying at that moment. And I can't
would love
even
to hear her
I can't
reaction.
imagine. Oh, I know. Like last night I was like, she's probably in bed and playing that moment over and over
You know what she's thinking?
and over.
She's thinking, I finally made it to the Supreme Court where I can stay on there for life, and
And
my
I'm gonna
life is
die.
going to be like that.
Oh yeah, I just pictured her like
As soon as
replaying
I get
this
on, I'm gone,
in her
yeah.
head over and over. But as far as people lying about it and everything, have you seen the Kellyanne Conway's daughter's tweets?
Not recently.
Because apparently,
I'd love to hear her husband's tweets.
hers are better. Hers are like. She
I mean,
sounded, she
a
sounded
couple of
like
weeks
you
ago.
talking
say?
about the president. Oh man, it was just curse words, pretty much. Because apparently her mother sort of lied to her and said that she didn't have it.
Kellyanne Conway's
Yes,
never done anything like
right.
that.
No, she would never do that. But no, apparently she lied to her daughter because she wanted to spend like her birthday together, and then so her daughter actually outed her about an hour before she came out with it, and so her daughter
She
put
knew
out.
she
What
had
did she lie
tested
about,
positive.
she
She knew
said
she
that
had
she
tested
did not
positive,
have
but she told her
coronavirus.
daughter she didn't,
Right.
so that she
And-
could spend time with her daughter and infect her too.
Yes, and so she yeah. Well, so
What a great mom.
Yeah.
So she posted that, like, her mom lied, and that we need to be wearing masks, and we need to do this and that, and then basically, and don't listen to the president. He is a slimy puke motherfucker, like, worse than anything you've ever said about him. Like, she really brought it.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a fun, interesting one.
I will tell you this.
I would love
As
to
much
be
as
at
I
the table
dislike
when that
Trump-
family sits down to dinner.
Oh yeah,
But
that would.
here's well, no, because she basically be outnumbered. Her husband can't stand him, and her daughter can't stand him.
Yeah.
So she's just be out there being an idiot. I just think that it's really kind of fascinating. I don't hate Trump, to be honest with you. He's always been who he's been. What really bothers me is how many people bought into his bullshit and are now using
And
him.
still buying into his bullshit. Or
But both camps.
Right.
There's two camps.
Right.
There's the people that buy into his bullshit because they literally feel like they have to, because he's giving them stuff that they want.
Right.
Whether it's being cruel to other people that they don't like or whatever. But then there's the other people that are using him that I find
Because
just
he's a
as
useful idiot.
distasteful, because they don't care what harm he brings to the rest of the country as long as they get what they want out of it, like the conservatives want.
Right.
Barrett or whoever on the fucking Supreme Court. I just find it absolutely amazing that they actually think that this should be a thing. That you can get somebody who's a conservative judge and put him on the Supreme Court, so they will basically, it's
Which
not
so far
an
has
interpretation.
kicked his like.
Right. But it's basically not even a reinterpretation of the Constitution. It's literally ignoring the Constitution to get what you want, because the whole purpose of the Constitution
perverting the
was
law
to make
and the
sure
Constitution.
that
This
church and
never
state were
happened.
separated.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can sit there and tell me all day long that you want to put a conservative judge on it so he can interpret the judge's decisions the way you want them. But the bottom line is there is supposed to be a separation of church and states, which therefore means either it's fucking legal or it's not.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the fucking church or religion. So you can't sit there and tell me that it's okay to tell a woman what to do with her fucking body. You just can't. She's a citizen, and therefore she has the right to decide what she wants to do.
So let's take this candidate. And people are bitching about, or Sharia law has come to Ohio, or Sharia law has come to here. So
Like it
What
wasn't
is-
there before.
what is the difference between that and the right-wing evangelicals, or her, right?
I don't know why you're asking that question, because we've all felt that way forever.
Right.
There is no difference.
But what I mean is they want to preach their religion, but they're doing the same thing that the people that they are getting down on and calling out, they're doing the same thing.
See, this is what you need
Exactly.
to do from now on. When we do our shows, when you
Right.
post them out there, you need to put down word of the day. That's what you need to do.
Okay.
Start doing the word of the day.
I like
Because
that.
the word of today is fucking hypocrite.
Okay? I love it.
Because that's the problem. They've been talking about the Sharia law and all this shit forever.
Say the secret word
But yet they're
and-
doing exactly the same thing.
Right. I mean, taking rights away from women is Sharia law.
Exactly.
So
And to see another woman who's actually backing that shit up makes me sick.
yeah. Now, I just want to see who's going to show up when they supposedly do her interview, whether it's going to be her or her husband.
What do you mean?
Well,
Right, that she
because of her
can't speak
comment
for
that
herself
the
and-
wives should be subservient to the husband.
Right, and
That-
we should not be allowed to own,
Make your own
buy,
decisions
or
or
sell
whatever.
property.
You're
And
so basically that's who they're putting on the Supreme Court. Is not her, but her husband.
But and do you understand the absurdity of what I'm saying though?
Yes.
That you're going to put a person like this on the fucking Supreme Court
Yes.
when she's saying something that's strictly due to her religion. It has nothing to do with law.
Right.
How can you sit there and tell me that a woman is less equal than her husband, and so therefore he has to make all these important decisions for her? That's religion, not
But
law.
she is going to interpret the law.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and I have so many high hopes for her interpreting shit about my daughters and black people and other minorities in general. Oh man, I'm just really happy about that.
do
Fucking
you
insane.
think they're going to have to put more space between Trump and Harris for the debate? Because he can't be He can't be alone with a
You mean
woman.
Biden?
No, I'm talking
Oh,
about
Pence and
Pence
Kamala
and
Harris.
Harris.
Yeah,
You said Trump and Harris, so you
I
had me
did?
confused.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm dumb.
yeah.
No, I just want to know if his wife has to
Harrison
be there to
Pence.
chaperone.
Right. Like, is
Well,
she gonna sit
they
between
want 12
them?
feet separation and not 6. And Pence is fighting it.
What?
Really?
They want that's what
He wants
that-
to be closer to her?
he wants to be within 6 feet. They're asking for a 12-foot separation
Yeah.
for the podiums.
Personally, what I think they should have done, they should have put him either in booths,
Right.
or they should have put him in different places
Plexiglass.
and had it on Zoom.
Yeah.
No, seriously, they have him in totally different rooms. They don't need to be on a fucking stage. You could have posted this.
She's gonna rip him a new asshole, man.
What do you
well,
think?
yeah.
She's gonna wipe the fucking floor with that guy. I'm really
What do you
anxious
think
to see
he's
that.
gonna come for her on?
Probably her record as a
Yeah,
prosecutor.
yeah.
That would be the
He's gonna-
only
he's
thing
gonna
that
bring up-
I can think of.
He's going to try to do as much as he can to drive a wedge between her and the black community.
Right.
'Cause like that would take a lot. And
I mean, there's
the law and order
there's-
aspect of it, he's going to try to flip that because
Yeah,
Trump
I'm
is supposedly
curious.
the law and order person, but if he can flip that to make it seem like she took it to the extremes to where she was being
Can he?
It wasn't really-
Do you think he can do that?
no.
Like,
Personally, I don't.
no,
think,
I mean, like I feel like he would lose a lot of
no,
his
that's
base.
that's what I think. No, I don't think so.
No.
No,
Like-
not. I think he could kind of work that line. The problem is, I just don't think he is actually intellectually capable of doing any of that anyway.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. I just don't think he's as smart as she is. He
He
Mike Pence
he
has
can
never,
follow a script.
Yeah, right.
And-
he's
and-
not
and
the
if you
kind of
get off-
person
if
that
you get off
has
script,
the
he's
ability
screwed.
to be a leader,
Right.
to be a speaker.
I mean, Democrats came for her when it came to her background.
Okay, but they're,
Yeah,
But-
look
they can
what
actually-
Right,
happened.
but
They
as
can
a
actually think for
Republican,
themselves.
especially if you're coming from this law and order stance, how are you going to come for her on law
On
and
being
order?
tough on crime.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Especially when he has distanced himself from, like
Everything.
from Trump, giving clemency to women, and
Well, the more I think about it, I think the more you're probably right. He's going to have a hard aspect coming from that standpoint. But
because Trump gave clemency to several
Right.
women, and he distanced himself from that, which I assume he just wanted to distance himself from that anyway, but because it was involving Kim Kardashian and all of
Right,
that,
right,
he
right.
did distance himself as
But
far
I don't
as
thi-
he could.
But I don't even know. I mean, taking it a step further, I don't even understand how somebody like him can have a debate with Kamala Harris. He doesn't really have the intellectual capacity or the character to be able to do something like that. I mean, it's just my opinion, but he's always been kind of like the Joe Milquetoast kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You want,
So
yeah.
I don't even know why
There's
he would
no
agree to that.
personality,
Why, why would he agree to have a debate with somebody like her who's, number one, really dynamic, and secondly, he's used to speaking in front of people and convincing them.
Yeah.
She's that's like you pick some kid walking down the high school hallway and say, "Come in, we want you to debate the team captain of the debate team."
Right.
That doesn't even make any sense.
I don't think he has a choice.
Oh, they always have choices, and these guys learn how to manipulate.
No,
stuff.
no. What I'm saying is that I mean
Well, I don't
he
know.
has to debate her.
Right. Why are we having,
Well, he does now.
I don't
especially
really,
because what
Yeah.
happened.
right. Like I don't feel been a huge point to doing the debates at all.
I agree. I think it's stupid.
I think everybody kind of knows where they stand, and everybody knows where the candidates stand. I don't think there are very many undecided voters, and they're just.
I don't even understand
I
why
don't think
Trump
there's-
agreed to do a debate in the first place.
I was
because-
actually, yeah, I was kind of shocked. I think that
Well, I think he
that the
did it
two of
because he
them
talked so
don't-
much shit about Biden and his mental faculties and all this other kind of
I
stuff.
think
Right,
that
he
And
would
think
have-
was
I
trying
think
to
he
make him-
believed he was going to walk all over
Right.
Biden.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he really
No, I
believed
think
that.
I don't
Right.
think he thought he was
I-
going to walk all over him. What I think he thought he was going to do is somebody posted this on Facebook, and I kind of agree with it. He actually thought he was going to be able to goad him into saying something that he shouldn't say, or get him to stutter, or
Yeah.
anything that he could use against him to say that he was losing his mental faculties,
Right.
or that he
Right, and at the
has some
beginning-
kind of sickness
Right.
or dementia or something like that.
At the very, very beginning, he did say, like, he said something about, like, don't you ever say smart in front of me or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but basically that.
I still love
Like-
But I think that's the only thing that he had going for him at the time, because there's no way in the world that he literally had nothing to gain from doing the debate. That, to me, that was a small gain, because look at how much he lost.
but he does not think he lost.
No, not at all.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think so?
He's saying that he didn't lose, and he's talking a lot of shit, but they're saying now that at the White House, he was pissed at a lot of people about all the
Not
fallout
preparing
that
him
he
for-
got
yeah.
for that.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, and
But that's
I don't know
typically him.
who was interviewed, but there were a couple of people interviewed who said, like, we all have to pretend with him
Right,
that
right.
he
Yeah.
won.
But-
If any of us say anything to the contrary, we will lose our jobs immediately.
Right.
And I mean,
Which is another
I
reason I
think
don't
that he
understand why he
truly-
did it.
I think he really might honestly think that he won that.
Then he didn't look at any repeats of it because it was just stupid. It
But
was.
but,
it-
but
But
no,
he
no, no.
doesn't look at-
He's-
he doesn't look back
from
on
his
anything that
mind-
he's done
From
and-
his mind,
well, he always thinks he's a winner.
right?
Exactly.
That's
I don't
his whole
think this is any
personality.
different.
And that whatever Joe Biden was saying to him was irrelevant, or because he knew better. You know, it's like arguing. He thought he was arguing with an 8-year-old kid when it was actually Joe that was arguing with an 8-year-old kid.
Look, I agree. I know it sounds like I'm being kind of contrary here, but I
Well,
actually agree with what you guys are saying. But I also honestly believe that deep down inside, he knows this. He knows he fucking lost, because that debate was his to win, and he fucked it up.
Yep.
And he knows he fucked it
Yep.
up. So he can tell himself any story he wants to, because that's what he normally does, and he'll convince himself later on. But this is the reason why he has these rages when he goes backstage and you hear all this things that he's screaming in the Oval Office, and he's writing these tweets and doing stuff like that, because he knows shit is not going the way he thought it was going to
Right.
go.
Right.
He thinks he's the smartest motherfucker on the planet, and he can't understand why this stuff is blowing up in his face all the time.
It's always somebody else's fault.
It's always somebody else's
Right.
fault. But deep down inside, he knows.
I think
And-
that's true.
And I also believe that this is one of the reasons he literally is terrified right now, because all these things that he's done has come up to blow up in his face just before the election.
The strategy for an
So
incumbent
do you think maybe
going
he's
into
really in the
a-
hospital for a panic attack?
No.
The strategy for an incumbent before the first debates
Is sit down
always
and shut up.
is no, it's always like leading up to the first debate. You're supposed to pretend that you genuinely think that you don't stand a chance. Like Bush, for example, like said that he was not going to win the first debate, and that he's not an orator. He's like.
But didn't Obama do the same thing in the first debate? They
Um,
thought he kind of blew it in his first one. And then
He
the second
didn't-
one, he came back kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't remember what he said before the first debate, but Trump did come out saying like, well, he's got all of this experience, he's got all this charisma, and I hope people can look past that. And I'm like, because I'm not well spoken, and it's
Whoa,
happened.
whoa, 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 whoa. Trump said that?
No, Bush.
Oh, Bush. Oh,
I
okay.
gotta say, I know Trump never
Yeah,
said
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
No, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
well,
That's what
that
I'm
don't
saying is all of our previous presidents have set it up to like and said, well, I'm not like
Trump did exactly the opposite and doubled down on that shit.
Right.
exactly like that is not the general strategy going into.
He actually set
a
himself
first
up for
debate.
failure.
Yeah, he did.
If he hadn't said anything before the debates, this debacle of a debate, which wasn't really a debate, but this debacle would not have been half as bad. But he talked so much shit. He accused Biden of so many things, of not being mentally sound, of having
Right, that he was going to
disease.
have,
Being
he was going to
drugged,
have, all,
taking
right, that he was going to
enhancement
get
drugs
drugs.
and-
They were
yeah.
going to,
Yeah.
they were going to
Yeah.
shoot
And
him
he
up
had
a
the
ton before
earpiece
it
and
started,
that, yeah.
and that that after a little while he wouldn't be able
Right.
So
to.
I do have to say one thing about Biden. He will go down in history as the first person to ever tell a president
to shut up.
shut up, man, on to his face on national TV.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
That was like,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie to you.
all right. I mean, now there's T-shirts out there, there's hats, there's all kinds
The
of
difference
shit.
is that if I'd have done it, and I would have done it,
Yeah.
I would have said, "Will you shut up, sir?" Because he is the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Because
that's
you
why.
know how we were in the military?
Yes, sir.
Is that when you talk to an officer, somebody
sir.
who outranked you,
Aye, aye, sir.
you know, we had a way of saying "sir" that meant "fuck you,"
Yep.
"fuck your mom," "fuck you" and the horse that you came in on. We just, you know, and they knew it, but they couldn't say
couldn't
anything
say
to you
anything.
because you said "sir."
Right.
That was, I mean, that's like this is why one of the reasons why that I didn't want Biden as the nominee. I was hoping for somebody young, like
God,
the
it could've
younger the
been
better. Like, and,
Kamala.
I mean, I was hoping for somebody really young and somebody who would come after Trump, get down on that level, and like throw around some playground talk.
Well, I didn't care who it was.
You know what?
As long as they could talk to him. I mean, under the circumstances, I don't think that Biden necessarily did bad. I think he did okay.
Right.
You know, based on put it in context
Listen,
with his age.
the simple
and his
fact that he didn't walk
experience
over and
stuff like
punch that fucker in the throat.
Yeah. But I
That
agree
one-
with you. I agree with you. I wish it had been somebody else who would have been a little bit younger, who would have just been able to just dog his ass.
Can
every
you
time.
see?
Yeah,
Can
I
you
want-
see Trump
I want
debating
playground
Kamala
insults.
Harris?
No, I didn't. No, I don't. I don't want playground insults. What I want people, I wanted somebody who would point out certain things.
Right.
Like the second time you bring up the same subject, I would have, excuse me, you already talked about that before. You got something new?
Yeah.
You know, just shit
Right.
like
I mean,
that.
I don't actually mean playground insults,
But just a dog him, just like, okay, you already talked about that once. You got something
Right.
new? Because if you don't have anything new, then what the fuck are you talking for?
Yeah.
You know, I would have they should have just put him in his place.
right. I don't mean literally playground insults, but like,
Yeah.
You mean like, you booger?
Here's another one. Here's another one. Okay, you said that. Explain what you mean.
literally even that.
What the fuck does that mean? Spell that word. Man, I would have had a blast just sitting there. I wouldn't have had to say anything.
Yeah.
Spell that word. You don't know what it means. You just throwing it out there. How does?
By the way, what the hell is Yosemite?
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know, all the bills that he supposedly
Yes.
that he signed that he made better
Yeah.
for the country. To explain to me how you made this better for the country.
What
you know,
did
what
they-
exactly did that bill mean? What
Right.
did it do? You signed it. What does it mean? He wouldn't be able to explain any of that shit. He probably wouldn't even know what the fuck they were talking about.
Bill? What Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like any and everything. Like, you know, you've donated your salary.
I so wish I
And-
could have been on his.
Like you've donated your
Nominating
salary.
committee.
How much money has this country paid for you to go golfing, and who does that
Right.
money go to? Where are you golfing?
Oh yeah, I would
And-
have had a stat sheet up there with me. I
And
would've
who
said, okay,
exactly do you owe that $420 million to?
Right. Oh, and you don't. Honestly, you didn't even have to come up with any kind of receipts for anything. All you have to do is just throw shit out.
Yeah.
Because I would have just looked at him and said, Okay, you're claiming that you don't owe any money to anybody. Where are your tax receipts?
Yeah.
All you have to do is show your tax receipts, and saying that they're under audit is bullshit, because I know, and I would have had the rules for the IRS right there. Just because you
So wait.
claim that it's under audit, which you haven't shown me any letters or anything that you've shown that says that the IRS actually has your shit under audit. Since they're not under audit, why don't
Right.
you just show
This
the
is
tax?
just going to take a really long time to get through.
And
the IRS said probably like in February that we might like.
Right.
And you claim that you didn't rape that woman. Well, then where's your DNA test?
And I don't know why fucking Joe Biden didn't do the same bullshit that he did. I would have had all those women lined up.
Yeah, that was the problem. Is he's trying to have a little bit of class, but it doesn't work with Trump. And I love that.
That's
you
something
saw
else
the
I wanted
meme
to
where
talk to
he's
you guys about too,
Okay.
because there's been a lot of memes going around and a lot of words being bandied about, but they're basically saying that they're really upset that every time the Republicans do some low, nasty, dirty ass bullshit,
Yeah, fuck
the
that going
Republicans
high
are always
stuff.
trying to stay high and do, but they're saying that the Republicans are now playing by a totally different. There's no rule book.
Right.
They'll do anything they can to possibly win. With some of this voter suppression stuff, is just absolutely fucking insane. And it's
One
like the
drop
Democrats
box.
are always trying to do everything by the rules, by the law, by this, by that, and it just seems to me there should be a harder way for them to fight back.
And I agree with you, but I have to ask you specifically this question, and you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Good cop, bad cop. How does the good cop go up against the bad cop and still be a good cop? Because to me, that's the scenario that I'm hearing. You're saying, I gotta get down and dirty and play this guy's game, which is what you've sworn not to do.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up,
That,
because
I mean, that's the catch-22.
This is one
I
of those,
agree with you, by the way. Get down and dirty and kick his fucking
yeah,
ass.
this is one of those existential
Existential,
things that
right,
I
yeah.
that I really struggle with, because I understand when people say, well, if you have a 99 dirty cops and you have one good cop and he doesn't do anything about the, or you have 99 good cops
Right.
and you have one dirty cop and the 99 don't do anything about that bad one, then you have 100 dirty cops.
Right.
But if anybody knows anything about anything, you know that the one thing that dirty cops do, if they will actually use their badge and their gun and their violence against you as a citizen, what makes you think they're not going to use it against another fucking cop?
Oh, yeah, no.
Especially-
I understand that.
Right. So, you look at the stories like Serpico, who actually they tried to assassinate him.
Right.
Other cops.
Yeah.
They tried to kill him because he knew shit he wasn't supposed to know. This happens all the time. So, you're literally seeing the political aspect of that right now. You have Republicans that are doing everything they can to basically circumvent the law.
Yeah.
And, the governor in Texas, he's literally closing down polling stations so that, places
Drop
where you can drop
boxes.
off your ballots.
There's one for the whole county,
One for the whole county.
Right.
which is 4.3 million people.
I mean, I honestly wish that Biden wasn't running. I wish it was somebody else, because I don't even want to call him good cop or whatever. Like,
I wish Trump wasn't running too.
right, exactly. No, like, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree with
basically,
you.
is
Right.
that, like, Biden has a history of making women uncomfortable. I
But-
know
but
somebody
here's-
who's one of them.
This is
I don't want that. I would love to have somebody else. But no, it's
Biden
not.
is a placeholder.
It's sure.
That's
and
all
Hillary
he is.
would
He
have
is a
been too,
placeholder. He is a
but-
placeholder for the next 4 years to try to figure this shit out.
You know,
and
the,
try
the
to.
I don't
thing
even
is
like
people,
talking about this stuff.
people talk about, like, and people should talk about it. Like, no woman should feel like she can't talk about Biden. because everybody else needs him. She should not have to be able to keep quiet about it, like Lucy Flores, and I believe her, and we should all believe her.
I agree with
and
you 100%.
she shouldn't have to shut up about it.
The problem is,
but the problem is that he's running against somebody who is like
1,000 times worse.
It's like the
Right,
difference
and-
between somebody who you walk in the room and you feel a little bit uncomfortable with them, and then somebody walks in the room and you're repulsed by them.
Right.
Well, not even that you're repulsed by them. Like women have said that Joe Biden makes them uncomfortable.
No, I
There's
wasn't
all
talking
of
about
this,
him.
like-
I said he makes them uncomfortable.
No,
I'm talking
here's
about
what.
Trump.
Well, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
There are clips of like sniffing hair, and that really blows. But like that's something that Republicans feel that they need to bring up very, very frequently, like on the regular. Let's talk about this. On the other hand, like what Trump is accused of, like those are very different things. And it's not even just that he's accused of these things, and I have the tendency to believe women. He has literally told us on multiple occasions about shit that he's done.
They literally have clips of it on audio tape.
And well, like when he talks about grabbing pussy and so on, but he has
Walking into
literally
the locker
told
rooms.
us, that's where I'm going. He has literally told us that he loved so much running Miss Teen USA because he could go in there and watch the girls and
Teenage girls.
Right. I'm not saying women. I'm saying girls. Like nobody else running for any other party or even who wanted in on the Republican votes, none of them has like come out and not even admitted but bragged that they have basically been a pedophile.
Except him.
He
they
has,
totally
and
ignore
he
it.
does. He's proud to have like sexually harassed children. It's a whole another animal. It's just a different.
Listening to the comments that he's made about his own fucking daughter
Right.
Yeah, that.
made me sick to my stomach,
Yeah.
and they still voted for him.
Yeah.
How you can do the stuff that this man has done before 2016 and still get elected president says a lot about our country.
And that's the scary and sad part.
Because at least now they can say, they can make up in their mind, well, he helped the economy, he did this, he did that. You can, all those things.
Wait. He helped the stock market. He did not help the fucking economy.
But I'm saying in their mind, at
Right.
least they can make up a story behind certain things that have happened since he's been president, and they can give him credit for it.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that. But the shit that he did before then, you can't do that. And you can't say that he was a great businessman or whatever, because that wasn't true either. They knew before he got elected that he had been
How do you
bankrupt
lose money in a
numerous times.
casino?
Right. But he had
How-
been bankrupt
how do you
numerous
own a
times.
casino?
So there's obviously something that's not quite
Yeah.
living up. But yet they made up these stories in their mind and they elected him. And now that all this other information has come out, they're still thinking about voting for this guy.
And
Absolutely
international money laundering.
Yeah.
As
That's
pissed
gonna come
off
back
as
to
this
bite his ass,
country was about Monica Lewinsky, it's insane that we can have a president who talks about being sexually inappropriate with children.
Right.
Like, imagine if, like, Bush or Obama said that, like, I like watching little girls get dressed. I bought a pageant so I could do this. Like,
Well, I hope if this ever comes up, because it would not surprise me if Trump were to pull some shit like that and try to throw that in there that Joe Biden makes women uncomfortable or some shit like that, and Biden could just throw that right back at him and says, well, at least I didn't walk into the Miss Teen USA.
I didn't
locker
buy a
rooms all the
pageant
time
so I could
just
see
so
naked
yeah.
teenage girls.
Right.
Yeah.
I would. Oh man, that would be. Even if he lost, I would say that'd be fucking epic.
Yep.
The fact that he told him to shut up was pretty good.
right. But, I mean, I don't even think there need, like, even that is too much background information. I think it could just be like, you like watching children dress.
True.
Like, there don't even need to be more details to that. Like, tell us more about how you like to watch kids dress. Like,
Is it getting warm in here?
Well, we're running out of time too.
Yeah.
I just one other quick sidestep that I read last night or this morning. I don't remember which because I'm old. Mitch McConnell is refusing to debate if there is a woman moderator.
Mitch
So?
McConnell. Oh, okay.
Mitch
Right.
McConnell, you know who? Moscow. I'm sorry, Moscow Mitch.
Who gives a fuck about Mitch McConnell's opinion about anything?
But we should,
Because
because he's the power behind the fucking throne.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully until the elections.
yeah, fuck. So that leads me
And
into
the
my
Graf
next
beats his
question,
ass, I
our
hope.
final question of the day.
Okay.
We already have our word of the day.
You know, honestly,
Yes.
even if Mitch McConnell does not win, I mean, if he does win, I prefer that he lose.
Right.
But even if he didn't win, as long as we took over the Senate,
That's it. That's the key.
that would
right
make
there.
me so happy.
That's the key right
because
there.
then that's like
We bury his
what
ass.
we were talking about before when they were saying that when it comes to Trump and everybody saying, "Oh, I wish he died." I said, yeah, I don't wish he died.
Right.
I want him to be perfectly healthy so he can go to jail and stand
If
trial
we take
for all
over
this
the
stuff.
Senate and keep the
That's
House,
the same I feel about Mitch McConnell.
Right.
Because he'd have to endure all the subsequent investigations that went on
Yep.
after that. Hopefully he'd get caught up in a couple of those. He wouldn't be able to stop anything from getting passed.
right?
They would be passing all kinds of laws and bills and shit,
If-
and all
if-
he could do was sit there and watch that
If
shit.
Trump wins the presidency, the Democrats hold on to the House and take the Senate. I got $5 that says their first action is going to be impeach
Impeachment.
Donald Trump.
Yeah. I think they will too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you real quick why I think so. It's my opinion, but I personally believe that I do not understand how the American people could pick somebody who literally has not done anything for this country at all.
Yeah,
Any accomplishment that you can say that he did, you'd have to look at who actually decided to do that and why they did it. Because he's already told you he doesn't read, he doesn't pay attention, he doesn't take briefings, you
Right.
know, all those things that I mentioned earlier.
And he spends
so
like
he
six-
obviously, so you can't sit there and fucking tell me that he understands and knows and deliberately went and did these things for the American people, because he's already proven he doesn't care about any of that stuff. And if you were to
And
ask
he
him
doesn't
today,
care about anybody.
right, he doesn't care about anybody. But if you were literally to ask this man, like I was saying, have Biden ask, if you ask him to explain this, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
So the point I'm trying to make is that I cannot believe that the American people would pick somebody who's such a narcissist, a sociopathic, selfish asshole, and want to put him back when he's made our country look horrible. They keep trying to say that Hillary Clinton was evil and she's crooked and she's this, that, and the other. They have no proof about anything. They're just throwing shit out there. I actually
It's
had a
also just a
conversation-
weird thing to be bitching about 4 years later.
Right. Yeah, that too. But I actually had a friend who was telling me, well, you know, I voted for Trump because Hillary is evil. And I go, why?
Yeah.
And they couldn't tell me anything. They literally couldn't put any kind of coherent argument together about something that she did. They just, well, you know why.
They spent how many years investigating her?
But here you have
And-
a guy
and
who
I-
literally you can prove that he did it. Not only can you prove it, the motherfucker told you he did it. And yet they still voted for
Yeah.
him.
I mean, if he weren't as
Never
obese
underestimate the
as
power
he
of
is,
stupid people in
I
large
think
numbers.
he should just wear Melania's Zara jacket.
What?
It's what?
Her Zara jacket that everybody was.
Oh.
I don't-
I don't
Yeah.
care.
I don't care, do
Do
you?
you?
Or I really don't care, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck Christmas.
I agree. Fuck Christmas. I'm fine with that.
What do you do?
I mean, I've had years like that. I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm saying that's what she said. They got her on tape saying that. So
I had a woman chase
Who gives
me
a fuck
out
about
into
Christmas?
a parking lot at a political event. This woman chased me out into the parking lot to yell Merry Christmas at me.
I just,
Because I wished a friend Happy Hanukkah because he is also a Jew.
Right.
And she really didn't like that. I didn't say Happy Holidays. I don't know which is more
But
offensive.
here's the thing.
But I said
That's what she heard. No, I'm serious.
Yeah,
That's
right,
what she
right.
heard. She heard Happy Holidays. She did not hear Happy Hanukkah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know which way she
You
went.
could
with
have
that,
said
but she
Happy
did-
Kwanzaa. You
Not
could have
honestly, not that it mattered, because she's probably kind of a neo-Nazi bitch anyway. So
No. What I'm
Hanukkah
saying,
would've worked
you could have
just as well.
said Happy Kwanzaa, and she would have heard Happy Holidays.
Yeah, if it wasn't Merry Christmas,
Right.
when you said happy, you were fucked.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up again. Damn. Anyway, phew.
You know, I just
This is the best therapy session. I'm
I
telling
find
But
you.
you know this
I
woman
find
is
it
totally
very-
still going to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
yeah. I find
Fuck
it very
Christmas doesn't
absurd
even-
that they always call us liberals, you know, the libtards. They call us snowflakes, and then we get upset about this, and they're politically correct. But yet, these are the people that literally make up conspiracies. Like there's a war on Christianity in this country, that there was a war on Christmas, that you can't say Merry Christmas. They literally made this shit up. I
Right.
don't know where the fuck this stuff came from. I've never heard anybody in my entire life, no matter how liberal they were, telling somebody that they couldn't say Merry fucking Christmas.
If I don't know whether you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever, and it's around the holidays, because there's like what, all of those
Right.
holidays happen around the same time, I'm going to say Happy Holidays, because I want to make sure that I have acknowledged whatever you believe and whatever you practice.
I
And what-
literally just don't even think of any of that stuff.
Right.
But it actually was Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And a friend who is
Right.
Jewish was present. And so as I was saying goodnight and
But the funny
going
thing
home,
about
I
it is
did
that
say
if
Happy
you're mad
Hanukkah.
about somebody saying Happy Holidays, you're basically saying, I'm a Christian, my religion is more important than you, fuck you,
Nothing
you
else
have to say
matters.
Merry Christmas.
Right.
And that's
I do
it.
not believe in freedom of religion. I
Right.
do not believe in freedom from religion. I do not believe
I
in
do not believe in
separation of-
other religions.
Right.
I mean, it
that's
was-
the problem.
It was not important to me. It just happened
I
to be
understand.
Hanukkah. It was a friend. And this woman, I didn't say anything to her because I don't know her.
Yeah.
But she chased me.
I just find it absurd. You know, that I don't give a shit what anybody else says, as long as you're not saying something that's insulting to me or to somebody else. Say whatever you want. So why you have to get butthurt over the fact that somebody said Happy Holidays? What the fuck?
Well, next time I guess I'll just go with that.
Have you ever seen the movie?
What the fuck?
Yes.
Have you ever seen the movie Galaxy Quest?
Yes.
Okay, that's how I'm going to leave the show today. Never give up, never surrender,
And don't be a dick.
and vote, you sons of bitches.
Please vote.
Oh, wow.